Shalom uvracha. Shalom and blessings. Welcome once again to the Hebrew portion of the Torah Club CD. This is Tikva, your teacher, and this week the parashah hashavua is Vayishlach. It means, and he sent. Now, did you get the clue from looking at the title, Vayishlach, that the vav would mean the word and? If so, good for you. You're starting to recognize some of the rules of the grammar of Hebrew. Slowly, we'll continue learning more and more until we're able to read Hebrew shotefet, fluently. Let's begin by turning to page 8 in our Jot and Tittle workbook. Vayishlach, we see, begins in Genesis 32, verse 3, or verse 4 if you're reading from the Hebrew Tanakh. So, let's begin in the Tanakh reading verse 4, the first sentence of Parashat Vayishlach. Vayishlach Yaakov melachim lifanav al Esav achiv Artsa, Sa'ir, Sde Edom. It means, and he sent, Yaakov, messengers before him to Esav, his brother, toward the land of Seir, the field of Edom. Okay, let's go through word by word so that you can work on your Hebrew pronunciation. As we do this from week to week, I would recommend trying to put the vowel markings inside the scroll where you see the Hebrew printed. It would be very easy if you had a Hebrew Tanakh with the vowel points to go ahead and copy those markings into your workbook. This is going to really help you in the pronunciation of the Hebrew. Let's begin reading word for word. Vayishlach Yaakov malachim lefanav El Esav Achiv Artsa Seir Sde Edom. Good work. Now we have a couple of difficult transitions in the Hebrew for the sounds that we're working on this week, which we're not familiar with in the English. For example, the last word in the second line, achiv. It's a difficult thing to pronounce the vav sound after a chet, achiv. Practice that, and you'll have to retrain your mouth to start making some of these different sounds that we're not used to. Another difficult mix is the first word in the third line, artsa. Here we have resh, and remember that's in the back of your throat, resh with etzadi, artsa. Makes it a little bit difficult. And you may have noticed that as I read through the last line, Artse, Seir, Sde, Edom, that the second to last word in the last line, the Shin, Dalet, Hey, you barely heard the sound of the Shin. Actually, in this case, it's a Sin with a schwa underneath it. The word is sde. It means field. And then, of course, we have Edom. In English, we say this word Edom. Let's look now at some of the related words. We have shaliach. This is a messenger or an emissary. In fact, this is what Rav Shaul called himself in the emissarian writings. He said that he was a shaliach for the Messiah. Next, we have shalach manot. These are the little packages that we give to one another during the Purim holiday. A missile or a weapon is known as a shelach. To be dismissed or driven out is shulach. Now, if we were looking at the words shelach and shulach without the vowel points, there would be no difference in the spelling of those words. How, therefore, are we to know if it's talking about a missile or being driven out? You'll guess by the context of the sentence. Shelach is a noun, it's a weapon. Shulach is a verb, to be driven out. So as we learn Hebrew, and if you progress further in your studies, there won't be the vowel markings in the words, similar to what's written in the scroll at the top of the page. You will have to learn to recognize and identify words according to the context. Next, we have that all famous saying that we all know, Shalach et ami, let my people go. The scapegoat is known as Sa'ir Hamishtalech. Hamishtalech. Got to get all those vowel points in. Next, we have a word by proxy or on the hand of a messenger, pronounced al yadei shaliach. A relay race is known as mirotz shalichim. That's another difficult combination. Boy, we've got a whole bunch in the portion this week, don't we? Shlichim. Mirotz shlichim. And lastly, a mission or an errand is called shlichut. Okay, you've got some extra work to do this week on putting some of those letter sounds together and pronouncing those Hebrew words. Let's close out our portion, as we do every week, by reading that first sentence up in our Torah scroll. I will read it line by line and leave time for you to repeat, and then we'll read it together. Are you ready? Let's begin. Vayishlach Yaakov malachim. Lefanav al Esav achiv. Arza Tzair Tzedei Edom. Now let's try it together. Vayishlach Yaakov malachim lefanav el Esav achiv. Arza Tzair Tzedei Edom. Good work. All right, I will speak to you again next week. And in the meantime, Shabbat Shalom ve'lehitrot.